Hi, I'm Karen, also known as the Preacher Lady. Today's devotion is Holding On for a Hero, a devotion for Advent. This week is the first week of Advent. Advent is the start of the Christian year. It's a time of waiting. We are waiting for Christmas and for the Christ child to be born. But the scriptures for this first week also remind us that we are waiting for Christ to return. I find it interesting that in this past year, both DC and Marvel have dealt with the death of some of our favorite heroes in their movies. DC dealt with the death of Superman, and Marvel killed off at least half of their heroes in Infinity War. Now, those of us familiar with comic books know that the hero will somehow come back, whether it's within the story itself, like in the death of Superman and Infinity War, or in the next reboot, or some other Elseworld story. The main comic companies are not going to get rid of their big money makers. But it still makes us sad. How many of you cried when Superman died, or at least in the funeral scene? Or when Thanos used the Infinity Gauntlet and destroyed half of the galaxy's population? The characters in the movie don't know that the hero is coming back. All they know is the one who gave them hope in dark and hopeless situations is dead, and they don't know where to turn. I don't think it's coincidence that both these movies came out in the past couple of years. Our society seems out of control. There seems to be evil around every corner, and everyone is looking for a hero or some way back to a safer world. That's the whole theme of Advent. The world is so messed up that the Jews were praying for a Messiah, a Savior, to get them out of the horrors of the world, to rescue them from being conquered by the Roman Empire. That Savior was born in a manger about 2,000 years ago. But just like in our movies, the world killed him. Jesus was crucified at the hands of the corrupt Roman government and at the hands of the Jewish religious leaders themselves. Jesus' followers were devastated. Fortunately, they only had to wait 3 days for Jesus to come back. But Jesus didn't stay. Jesus had to go back to heaven and left us here to carry on for him. But unlike in the movies, Jesus promised to return to us. Luke 21, verses 25 through 28 is part of the scriptures that is for the first Sunday in Advent. Listen to what it says. There will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and on earth distress among nations, confused by the roaring of the seas and the waves. People will faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now, when these things begin to take place, stand up, raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. For Christians, Jesus' return is the best news ever. No matter how scary the book of Revelation makes the end of the world sound, it is good news for us. Jesus tells us to stand up, raise our heads, because redemption is drawing near. We will be rescued from this evil world. Unfortunately, we have to wait more than a month, the month that we have to wait for the next issue of a comic book to come out. In fact, we have to wait even more than the year or so. We have to wait for a movie sequel. Yes, Jesus promised to return, but it's been about 2,000 years. Sometimes it can be hard to wait. Some people give up. They give up hope and they turn their back on their faith because they think it's been too long. It's hard to believe God is triumphing in the end when evil seems to win so often here on earth. The important part is what we do while we wait. Advent reminds us that we need to continue to hope. Jesus will keep his promise and will come back to rescue us. And while we wait, we need to be the agents of hope. When Superman died in the movie, Batman pulled together Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg to keep fighting against evil. Okay, I know, we don't have the powers of the Justice League. So how about this instead? In the movie Spider-Man, when the Green Goblin tries to kill Spider-Man, while Spider-Man is rescuing Mary Jane in a gondola full of school children. The people of New York rally and begin to throw things at the Green Goblin to distract him long enough for Spidey to save everyone. They had no superpowers. But as the man said, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. So while we wait for Jesus to return, we are called to do what he would do, to stand up for what is right, to protect the innocent, to seek justice, to be kind. Shine Jesus' light in our dark world. Give them the hope that we know. And when it seems the heavens are being shaken by the evil of this world, hold on to hope and look up, because Jesus is coming. If you enjoyed this devotion, you can find us and join us at Geeks of Faith on Facebook.com, or you can subscribe to this blog. Have a wonderful Advent and a Merry Christmas.